Yes, folks, we have been talking about best business practices that we learn from one industry and apply to another industry. Today, we are going to talk about how postponement help not just in the manufacturing industry, but it also help you in your quick ramp up in any industry without piling up in resources or your raw material or commodities or sub-assemblies inventory. And that is just not only true in the manufacturing, but that could also be very helpful in, many industries. The idea is that you basically look at the basics of any best business practice and then see how that basics apply or don't apply in your particular situation. Here we are going to take some examples. First of all, everybody knows postponement is really a strategy to minimize your inventory and resources and build your basic blocks of inventory and product which you can customize to customer needs closer to your customer at the finish line. For example, if you're producing computers, I mean, that really was a strategy Dell used to use early on, or then HP and many other industries use, that you build a basic shell, a basic computer, and then, you know, uh, you customize that inventory close to your, customer bases or in your, last echelon of inventory or in your warehouses next to your customer, and hence you are now not keeping many SKUs or many SKUs of inventory, and then if customer wants one type of inventory and then you are stuck with other type of inventory, rather you are creating uh, you know only basic inventory of your product based on your pull strategy and your orders, and then you customize them at the last echelon of your inventory, and that really minimize keeping your dead inventory in your warehouses. Likewise, that strategy we utilize in real estate and especially in senior living, because lots of senior livings are built with very customized services. Like some of them are called assisted livings, some of them are called independent livings, and others are called some other names like senior livings or what have you. But what happens is in each case, some people are offering like kitchen in the unit. Some are not offering kitchen. Some are offering laundry in the unit. Some are not. Some are offering some other services. What happens when you are really customizing all that? Then you're creating lots of dead inventory. And now this is not just a piece of equipment or a computer which you can replace in 3 years or 2 years or 5 years, but this is really a facility. If you build once, it's there forever. It's brick and mortar. They are not clicks and software which you can customize. A lot of time, we are going to give you some examples of from the of the technology industry as well. But right now we are talking about really true brick and mortar. You're building luxury houses, customized houses. Are you building senior livings? Are you building commercial buildings? Any type of building you are constructing, you must have a long-term vision, and then you must minimize not just your fixed cost but your operating cost, because a lot of times people build assisted livings with lots of operating cost in mind. For example, they have medicine management, they have cleaning, they have sometimes doctor visits, nurse visits, and they are offering that to every single client that comes to the door, and that really increase the operation cost, and hence your overhead is high, and now you are charging them $7,000 to $10,000 a month for one bedroom unit with all those services which everybody may not need. And now you say, well, we only want to cater to certain population. Well, if you're catering to only certain population of seniors, then what will happen is that your population pool will become very small. Whereas you want to keep your population pool bigger. It really depends on your strategy, that who you are attracting, what is your client base, you must have done some study, some demand study, some market study. But I have really gone and studied many senior livings, assisted livings, independent livings, and I realized that they are very rigid in nature instead of being flexible. And their operating cost is higher, and they are amortizing it on every single room, hence their room cost is very high. So, and they are also creating their own, hardship by really minimizing their population pool. So instead, if you build a flexible model, utilizing the postponement in your mind and build units which can easily be converted based on your client base. So let's suppose you are building one bedroom units, and those one bedroom units are medium size, let's say 600 square feet. A 600 square feet is a very nice size at 6 to 650 under square feet. I've seen assisted living with 250, 300 square feet. So if you have 650 square feet unit and you have a small kitchen and a stack of laundry, now you have a full-fledged unit that could be utilized even for a senior who may not need a lot of help. And then at the same time, you could really offer that to a senior who might need more help by offering third party services. For example, if somebody needs medicine management, there are lots of third party services you can provide. And like if somebody needs chiropractor, somebody needs nursing help, somebody needs doctor's help, you can have alignment with third party doctors and nurses and chiropractors and physical therapy, and you can provide a shell space which a lot of time people have. Like for example, the facilities we are building, we have lots of space, and especially lots of space in the basement. So you're providing all that space for their offices, and now you created that postponement environment where you have a unit built for everybody. You could basically provide third party services, and let's say if somebody cannot afford and don't need a big unit, then you can also do a very flexible partition, whether that is a drape or whether that is a flexible other type of partitions available. Are a lot of time people have companions, and I have seen even in senior livings two friends living together. So by creating this postponement and this flexible structure, you have now made yourself available to a bigger pool, and also you have lowered your operating costs, and you are offering, instead of being $7,000 to $10,000 per month, you're offering $4,000 to $5,000 a month. No, you definitely need to offer some of the services which is the reason seniors are attracted to these senior livings, is because you want to offer like a home theater, a chapel, a library, some activity room, some socialization room, definitely a nice kitchen, a cafe, a salon. But then you have other spaces which you are going, you can offer, doctor visits and nursing visits and third party visits, and for medicine management, or for cleaning services, or for dentist even services, dental services. So you can offer all those, and you don't have to amortize it. Whoever wants it, they will get it, and they will then actually pay those services through their insurance. So the first portion of living is not supported by insurance, and let's keep it separate. That they're paying you rent, and they're paying you affordable rent, so to speak. Instead of 7,000, they're paying 4 to 5,000. And then if they like to eat with you, they eat with you from your kitchen. And if they like to sometime make it themselves, they can make it themselves. So basically, this is really the idea, that you are using flexible construction model, flexible model, even in manufacturing, and postponement in manufacturing. Utilizing these two best business practices, now you created a facility which can attract much bigger population, and you have a much higher occupancy rate. So occupancy rate is really the biggest measure in these type of facilities. Likewise, in manufacturing, that you minimize your inventory, and over here you are minimizing your dead inventory. You have more active inventory. Okay, And now let's take this concept into into high tech industry or even in the service industry. In the service industry and high tech industry, I have seen that people want to really do a very fast ramp up. They really want to, when they have a customer base, many companies I've seen that they basically don't fail because of not having enough customer. They fail because they cannot comply with the orders they receive that quickly. There are two major reasons of failures I've seen. Either they're not enough cash flow, they have lots of revenue, but they don't have a cash flow. They don't have, because there is a cash cycle. You don't necessarily get the money right away. Now, if for example you can somehow cut your cash cycle from your inlays to outlays, whatever you have to pay versus whatever you have to get, and then you don't have those 30, 60, 90 days net terms. If you can have 10, 15 days net terms, or maybe even on spot payment, then you don't have the cash flow issue. So that's how you can take care of your cash flow issue. And we've done that even in manufacturing. We cut our cash cycle. Cash cycle is basically from the point your cash comes to a point when your cash returns. So in that cash cycle, I've seen people have 120 days cash cycle, and we cut it to 90 days, 60 days, 30 days, even 15 days. And now, take an example of Walmart and those type of, even Amazon. These people are getting some time paid before even they get their inventory. So now they have actually, what do you call it, negative cash cycle. They have more money in their cash. I mean, Walmart in many cases have, they pay their suppliers 120 days, 90 days, but they get paid on credit card, within 5, 10 days, or sometimes they're getting paid on cash. So now they have 100 plus days worth of cash, which they are really, they can behave like a bank. And that's that these are very cash rich companies. Now, taking example of the ramp up I was giving you in the beginning. So I've seen many companies struggle with fast ramp up. They fail because they have lots of clients who want to really get those services, but they don't have enough resources. So the way I handle that situation, borrowing these flexible and third party and postpone third party manufacturing and postponement concept. If you take flexible manufacturing, postponement, and third party manufacturing and combine it together, and you can learn and you can develop a new best business practice, that you basically are going to offer services to your clients, but you don't want to hire a lot of people because you're worried that these people may be deployed for the 3 month or 6 month, because now you have a lot of demand from the customer and they may not be employed in the long run. So what you need to do is then you need to have set up third party relations ahead of time, envisioning that that fast ramp up, and now you have these relationships set up. You didn't really pay for those resources yet, and you pay them as you use them. And so hence you have set up the flexible and third party model along with postponement, because now you can deploy these resources closer to your customer. I have seen a company that's a global company ramping up very quickly in the technology industry. They basically have clients in Asia, in Europe, and in America, and now they are an American company. So they end up actually setting up a relationship in each pocket, third party relationship. And as they get the customer base, they deploy those resources. Now it's very important when you are dealing with third party. The biggest issue is really controlling the quality of services you are providing. And for that reason, you set up third party manufacturing training, alignment coaches or alignment team, a very small team, and that is really aligning them. And there are third party partners who would like to align their services with your demand, even without having a contract, just with the vision. So their supply base is ready, their resources are ready. So you can use all those alignment techniques, long-term contracts, where you can align those resources, those companies ahead of time, so they understand your fill rate, they understand your response time, they understand your customer satisfaction time, they understand those things, so you have an alignment, and that's how you select your third party vendors. So if you find the right team, and you should have that a constant effort, just like you spend money on your research and development. Likewise, you should have a small budget for your continuous improvement and alignment with your third party vendors. That team will be constantly looking for new third party vendors in different pockets and have those relationships set up, so that whenever you need those relations, whenever you need those resources, they are right there for you. So that's really, some of the best business practices you can take from one industry and you can apply into another. And that's just an example of how you can cut your cash cycle, you can cut your inventory, you can not deploy the resources you don't need, and then you keep the best and outsource the rest, but have the alignment ahead of time. So until next time, we will wish you best of health and best of mental health, and let's keep working together. Keep sending me your questions, comments, and we'll be keep posting these best business practices for different industries for your review. Thank you very much.